Hi guys, it's Anissa. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am doing one of my favorite videos to film for you guys, another full face of first impressions. We have a good mix of some drugstore makeup and high-end makeup. One Size Beauty, LA Girl, Hourglass, Maybelline, EYES, Dragon Beauty, Laura Mercier, ELF, JUVIA'S Place, Patrick Ta, Morphe, and much more. If you guys are interested to see how I came up with this look that I thought was going to be a very nude look, that was the plan at least, then make sure to keep on watching. Before we go any further, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I post on this channel once a week, so you never have to miss me for too long. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. We're just gonna go ahead and get straight into brows, and I do have a new brow product today that I am super excited to try. Too Faced Super Fine Brow Definer, and this is the Ultra Slim Brow Pencil, and I have this in the color Espresso. This is what the packaging looks like. You have your product on one side and a spoolie on the other, which I always love. Outline the shape of my brows that I want. Actually just waxed my eyebrows, dermaplaned my face 2 or 3 days ago. And for the first time ever, my skin around my eyebrows peeled. It looked like I had a sunburn. Kind of have like some breakouts going on as well from that. Really excited to try this product because I think that I can actually do a full face of Too Faced makeup really soon, like a one brand tutorial for you guys. Super creamy. That color is perfect. And I also like that this pencil is actually slanted, if you guys can't see that. I feel like Anastasia Beverly Hills used to be that girl, but I don't know. She's got some real competition, especially in the drugstore. I love how blendable this formula is. You don't have to use 2 separate products. I just like to use a pencil to outline because it allows me to be very precise with the shape that I want. And then honestly, I use a pomade because it's way quicker than filling in with a small pencil. If you have like a chunkier pencil, it'll take you 2 seconds. This is not a new product, but that does not mean that it's not good. This is the Arches and Halos Luxury Brow Building Pomade, and I have this in the color Dark Brown. Once every blue moon, I have a new pot concealer to try, and on those days, I get super excited because I'm always looking for new pot concealers. You don't see as many pot concealers as you do liquids. Makeup Revolution Conceal and Fix Ultimate Coverage Concealer, and I have this in the color Deep Tan. This is actually, I believe, the deepest color. It's creamy, but it's thick. I think I used a little bit too much. I'm gonna have to wipe this brow off and redo it because there's way too much product clumped up in there. We're gonna try this again. I'm not gonna go in with as much product this time. I tend to be a little bit heavy-handed. I'm just gonna start with what is left on the brush. That was like the perfect amount. That's much better. I did mess up on the front a little bit, so I'm just gonna go back in with my brow product, and that's a very easy fix. A little bit of a learning curve with that one, so I'm not even gonna dip into this product again. I'm just gonna keep on using what I have left on here. With this product, you definitely don't need to like dig into the pot. You need the smallest bit. It is thicker in consistency, but I'm not having a hard time blending it out. Brows definitely look highlighted. This is the creamiest pot concealer formula that I've tried from the drugstore. I do not have a new eyeshadow base, so I went ahead and quickly prepped my eyelids to give me just a nice, smooth, even base. I went ahead and mixed the P. Louise bases in the shade 0 and 6. The reason I mixed is because this is a perfect shade for me, but I like my eyeshadow base to be just a little bit lighter than I am because it helps the colors to pop just a little bit more. I literally got this in the mail yesterday, brand spanking new. This is the Lunar Beauty Nude Prism eyeshadow palette. If you guessed, it's a nude palette. This color scheme is very similar to the Jaclyn X Morphe Divine Neutrals palette, very similar, except these shimmers, I want to show you guys up close, a mix of shimmer and metallic. They're very smooth looking. First, I'm just going to go in with a small blending brush and just lightly dip into this color right here and this color up here. Sweep them in my crease. That blended out very easily. If you feel like your eyeshadow is not being applied evenly, the best thing I can tell you is when you're applying it, do circular motions like this to go back and forth. It's going to give you a more even application, and it also helps the color to naturally diffuse on its own. Super smooth so far. They're not hanging onto the lids weird. I'm having a really easy time building up the color. I'm going to take a smaller brush. I'm going to take this color right here, Bloom For You Plum, but it has those brown undertones in it. Placing it first where I want it on my actual crease. Another clean blending brush, and just again in that circular motion, blend that out. Oh my gosh, that's really blendable. If you're more of a beginner, I think that having something that is blendable is more important than having something that's pigmented, because you can have all the pigment in the world, but if you don't know what to do with it and how to diffuse it, it's gonna look crazy. Once you get that blend, you can always hopefully build the color back up. Deeper and Moody right here. And y'all know I always gotta put something in the outer crease. Placing that on my very outer V, just like that. Hugging it more on my lash line than anything, and then slowly bringing it up. I'm really just placing the color more right now. Another clean blending brush, and just blending out the edges. Being very intentional with your blending also makes a big difference. If you guys can see, I'm really not touching the inside of that color. I'm just blending out the edges of it. This color and this color. One eye, I'm just gonna use my finger. The other eye, I'll use a brush and some setting spray. These formulas are very, very smooth. Oh. That is pretty. They're glittery, but the glitter is so finely milled. The formula is very, very smooth. Just to see what we can get with a brush and some setting spray. What do you guys think? I don't really see much of a difference at all. Now I'm just gonna take another brush that's clean and blend the lid color into the crease color. That way we don't have any harsh lines. And that's the thing that I love about using a more shimmery color on the lid, is because shimmer just has a way of looking very gradient on its own. I'm very impressed with this palette. Now that I'm looking at it online, it looked to be half the colors were pinky, half the colors were more brown. Good 80% of the colors are pinky. 10 out of 10 for the eyeshadow palette. Juvia's Place Duochrome Liquid Eyeshadows. This more pinkish one is the color Kente, and then this white one is called Fula. It doesn't look white on my hand, so I want to go ahead and use the more pinky one. I like that monochromatic look that they're giving. Even though this isn't as pigmented as the e.l.f. ones, these ones are a little bit more blendable than the e.l.f. ones. Formula is not evenly distributing. Like, I kind of have some patchy areas. I'm gonna try to use my brush and get the product off the brush. The color is really pretty. I feel like I'm having more luck when I'm putting it on a brush rather than the applicator on my eye. Formula is just not super smooth. The color is gorgeous, and I love the way that it looks. It's funny though, because I'm really having like a love-hate relationship right now, because I've actually never tried a liquid eyeshadow or even an eyeshadow that looks this wet looking. I went ahead and did some winged liner really quickly. I want to go ahead and mention the eyeliner that I use, because this eyeliner definitely redeemed itself. Huda Beauty Life Liner Quick and Easy Liquid Liner. I think that I actually used this in my last full face of first impressions, or if not that, very recently. And when I used it the first time, I was having to press so hard to get the product out. I loved the fact that this was super pointy, but the product was not coming out of the very point. I was having to press really hard on the base, so I wasn't getting a super precise wing. It wasn't super black. Now I love it. And I'm actually really glad that I was able to use it today with a very glittery eyeshadow, because as you guys can see, it's very black when it is over a super glittery shadow like that. This is definitely a 10 out of 10 for me. The way the eyeshadow looks is definitely growing on me. We're ready for complexion. My favorite part of makeup, Patrick Ta Major Glow Dewy Milk Mist. I really want to give myself, ooh, that spritzer is nice. I want to give myself a little bit of a glow, because the foundation I'm using is very matte. It's not heavy feeling. That mist is like so fine. This is also not new. Too Faced Plump in Prime Luxury Face Primer. I love this. It's very, very thin, but it does a really good job at hydrating. I always like to use a primer mist as well because I think that it helps give my primers a little bit of like a lubricant, if you would. HOURGLASS Vanish Airbrush Primer. Could not get my hands on this in a travel size. It only comes in full sizes. I absolutely love both the liquid version and the stick version of the Vanish foundation. Surprisingly, that feels pretty hydrating. I didn't know if it would be more silicone based. I don't believe that this has silicone in it. I'm just putting this in my T-zone where my skin gets a little bit oily. Oh, but that did take the shine away. Did a very good job at smoothing. I personally like silicone based primers because I feel like they can do something to the pores that lotion-based primers can't. And what a lot of people don't like about silicone-based primers is that they can almost be a little bit slick feeling. I have never had that problem. Now that we have mattified the T-zone, I want to bring a little bit of glow to my cheeks. I have not been able to live without the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Hollywood Filter. I know that this isn't a perfect shade before I even tell you guys what it is, but the shade below this is way too dark and I'd rather work with something lighter. Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Perfector, and I have this in the color 2 medium. I've heard that this is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Blend it out. I am getting that glow. This definitely has more shimmer in it, but they're very similar. This one definitely has a little bit more glitter in it. If you've ever tried the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder and then the Rare Beauty Loose Setting Powder, the Rare Beauty Loose Setting Powder is a lot more natural looking because it doesn't have any sheen or shimmer or glitter or anything in it, versus the Halo Glow Setting Powder has a little bit of sheen. It doesn't look like you just threw glitter or shimmer on your face, but you can definitely see that sheen and shimmer, and that's what I'm getting with this. It does give a very healthy glow. Anything that is going to have shimmer in it or glitter in it is going to bring out the texture. So I mean, even if you guys look at my eyes, you can see all these wrinkles. That's what glitter does. If you have a lot of texture, I feel like you would be better off with the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. This is not bad. Next is foundation, and I am going to be using the One Size Beauty Turn Up the Base BB Cream, and I have this in the color Dark 1N. I really took a guess on this color, so if I have to lighten it, I will. Blurs the skin and leaves a soft matte finish. Whenever I'm wearing a natural finish foundation, I definitely have to touch up more often. So that's why I love to use a lot of really hydrating products and then a more mattifying foundation because it allows me to have that longevity. I'm just gonna start off with a little bit. I wasn't sure how the match was gonna be because it's a little bit darker looking in the bottle, but I feel like that's a good match. Did not use a whole lot of product at all, and that gave very good coverage. I would say this is medium to full. I'm not gonna work it up to full because I do have a powder with coverage as well, but I feel like you could definitely work your way up to full coverage and not have to use a lot of product, meaning it's not going to be very cakey. I don't feel like it was super blurring because I can still kind of see my pores. That could also be the primer. Maybe the primer didn't do as good of a job as I thought it did. When I test new foundations on this channel, I like to do half brush, half sponge. I want to wet my sponge really quickly. And before I show you guys the sponge I'm using, I just feel like this is not, it looks pretty in some places, but then in other places it's balling up. And I don't know if you guys will even be able to see that. Maybe using a sponge will help that. I'm very excited because this is a brand new sponge, e.l.f. Angled Silicone Face Sponge. I've never used any type of silicone based sponge. The coverage is definitely there. If I need something that is going to really filter me and smooth me out, I go for the NARS Soft Matte Foundation. I always try to tap instead of swipe because tapping will give you more even application. The sponge side definitely looks better. It's not looking super balled up and heavy, and it actually feels a little bit lighter on this side of my face. Put a little bit of product over those 3 places to see if I can build it up. I don't know how much that really did. I feel like the sponge side has a more matte finish than the brush side does. I'm just gonna take a little brush and clean up the top of my brows. I'm gonna rate this like an 8 out of 10. I feel like I got more coverage on this side, but I feel like this looks more skin-like. Time for the fun stuff. This is actually a super old product that I have not used in probably at least 5 years. As of recently, I have been going in with 2 different concealers, one that is more my skin tone, and then on top of it, one that is more brightening. LA Girl Pro Conceal, color Suede. I remember at a time this being the most full coverage and affordable thing that I owned. I don't know if they changed it or if I just remember differently, but this formula is definitely a little bit thinner. Again, I'm going to do one eye with a brush, one eye with a sponge. I'm not going to be able to get all the way on the inside of my eye with this. Ooh. Has very good coverage. I do like the way that the brush side looks a little bit better though. I feel like I was able to get into my eye a little bit better with the brush. This has been on my wish list for so long. LYX Triple Fix Fluid Full Coverage Concealer. And this is in the color TN3. With my light concealer, I'm literally just going to take that inside of my eye. Ooh, that has a really creamy formula. Concentrate it on the inside, but then slowly bring it out. Ooh. And I used to just use a super light concealer and think that that fixed all my problems, but it kind of made me look like I had gray under eyes. My blue veins weren't actually getting concealed. I actually already have this product. I'm just trying it in a different color. Laura Mercier Translucent Medium Deep Pressed Setting Powder. Clearly too bright for all over the face, but I feel like this would be perfect for underneath the eyes. I have the translucent version of this, and it is the most translucent pressed powder I've ever tried. If you guys like the loose version of the Laura Mercier powders, you will love this. Take a small pointed brush. Funny enough, I've also already tried this product, but I wanted to go ahead and get a deeper color. e.l.f. Putty Bronzer, and I have the color Sunkissed. Have used Bronze Bell before, and Bronze Bell is a good color, but this is so blendable that when I would put Bronze Bell on, it would almost fade. So I want to try this color, which let me just say is pure perfection. I'm just going to place that right there. Perfect color. I'm honestly really glad that I tried this in a different color because I actually used this product in my, I think it was my full face of makeup I'm getting rid of. And in those videos, I kind of give my products one last chance before I emptied them. And when I used this, I was like, this has a good formula. I just have to get the right color. Not gonna lie, this formula is actually more blendable than any cream bronzer I've tried. This is also a very, very new product. Morphe Soft Focus Cream Blush. This is in the color Notoriously Neutral, which goes perfect with my eye look. Oh, okay, so that's definitely more pinky. That has a nice amount of pigment though. It's not super overwhelming. It kind of pulled my makeup off from underneath, but that could be because I do have a little bit of powder on right here. I like the fact that it has a very natural glow. Having a good base that you're confident in is so important because the further you get into your makeup, the harder it is to figure out why things aren't working when they do, because you have so many different, combination of so many different things. This is also not a new product technically because I already have this product and I love it so much that I got another color. NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Mattifying Powder in the color Caramel. So good at adding just a little bit of coverage but smoothing you out. It's very similar to the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter Press Powder. And I also love this powder too. Not only a really good finishing powder, but it's very good for touch-up as well. This is something that you can throw in your bag for the daytime and it's not gonna make you look super cakey if you add more product on. A new blush palette. I honestly do not have anything like this in my collection. Alamar Cosmetics Colorette Blush Trio, and this is in the shade Dark to Rich. Feel like today it's very fitting and goes with the eyes, so I'm gonna mix in a little bit of this dark color Divine Wine. Ooh. The pigment is there. I'm just gonna take my sponge and go over that. It's actually not as shimmery as I thought it would be. This is definitely not something that I would use on an everyday basis, but I think that this would be great for when I'm doing more pinky looks. I did not think that I was really gonna like this product very much. I thought it would be okay. I'm gonna give that a 10 out of 10. We're gonna keep the pink theme going. e.l.f. Baked Blush in the color Blush Gems. And I'm also going to go in with this on the inner corner as well. Set everything in place with this Hard Candy Sheer Envy Long Lasting Setting Spray. I would be lying to you guys if I said that this eyeshadow topper did not grow on me. On the lower lash line, I'm gonna go ahead and use this plummy color from earlier, Bloom For You. I went ahead and quickly set my brows in place with this e.l.f. Wow Brow Gel, and I have this in the color Deep Brown. I have a new mascara, Dragon Beauty Explicit Mascara. I'm really excited to try this one because it's very thin and long. This grips onto the lashes and coats them really well. While we let that dry, I only have one lip product today. I plan on using this for more of an everyday type of basis. Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask, and this is just the original. It took me forever to get around to trying this because I really don't use lip masks. I'm not somebody that lathers lip balm on before I go to sleep. I need to do an updated makeup routine, like an everyday, because I don't do my makeup like this every day. For everyday wear, I've been loving to just throw on some lip balm, and I saw somebody on TikTok say that they love to use this for an everyday basis because of how hydrating and long lasting it is. This one is definitely a little bit thinner in consistency. All right guys, this is the completed look. I really like the way that this turned out. This is definitely one of my more favorite looks that I've done. I think the eyes has a lot to do with it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please let me know if you have tried any of these products and what your thoughts were, or if any of them are on your wish list. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.